I guarantee you, when I share this Hebrew word in just a minute, that it's going to be a word that you know, you're familiar with, and it brings up a lot of pain for so many people. In the Old Testament, there's a Hebrew word for a whole burnt offering. What is the Hebrew word for whole burnt offering? You ready? And I'm telling you, this is a very loaded word. Here it is. Holocaust. So when you think about the Holocaust in World War II, where did the name come from? There were some American soldiers that were liberating concentration camps, and one Jewish soldier said, it's as if our people are being offered up as a whole burnt offering or a Holocaust. I would also, make the point that in Jesus' day, there was a whole burnt offering, a Holocaust that was taking place every single day, 2 times a day. Just stick with me for 1 second. At the temple in Jerusalem, that's where you had an altar, that's where you had sacrifices. At 9 o'clock every single morning, there was a Holocaust, a whole burnt offering that took place in the temple. There was another one that took place at 3 in the afternoon. Well, here we are in Holy Week. What does all this have to do with Christ? If you had a whole burnt offering, a Holocaust, kind of the pinnacle offering would be a whole burnt offering, but sometimes you would pour out what's called a libation, a drink offering, at the base of the altar. And you would pour out either wine or water. So hold all those thoughts. On Good Friday, when did Jesus go up on the cross? We're told in the Gospel of Mark, in no uncertain terms, that Jesus goes up on the cross at 9 a.m., 400 yards away from the temple. So that means as the Holocaust is taking place at the temple, 400 yards away, Jesus is being offered up as a whole burnt offering, a complete, perfect sacrifice. When does Jesus breathe his last? At 3 in the afternoon, when you have the evening sacrifice. So really, the ultimate sacrifice was Jesus on the cross from 9 a.m. in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, the morning, evening sacrifice. 400 yards away was the place of the skull, Golgotha, from the temple. But remember how earlier I said that really the pinnacle offering would be if you poured out a drink offering at the base of the altar. Well, in what sense was water or wine poured out? The Gospel of John tells us with Jesus that a soldier went up with Jesus, and what did he do? He pierced his side, and what came out? Blood and water. In every single respect, Jesus was the perfect whole burnt offering, not just for the sins of an individual or a community or a nation, but as the Bible tells us, the sins of the entire world. Let that sink in this week for the sacrifice that Christ made for us in our salvation.